Here we go. I got so many things. If you're working, doing something around the house, I got it covered. All right, here we go. This is Yahoo News posting a Los Angeles Times article. Remember Los Angeles Times yesterday? The owner of Los Angeles Times saying that they regret endorsing Karen Bass and that competence matters. Competence matters. Major shift. This is good. This is important. Defamation case against CNN over Afghan evacuation report goes to a jury. I'm going to read a different article about this, but I want to give you the facts through this article first. This is by Stephen Padaglio, okay, from January 16th. A Florida jury will decide whether CNN defamed a U.S. Navy veteran in a 2021 report on how Afghans were being charged thousands of dollars to be evacuated after the U.S. military withdrew from their country. Closing legal arguments were made Thursday in the case, which will in part be a test of the public perception of the press and CNN in particular, after years of being demonized by President-elect Donald Trump and his acolytes. A jury verdict against CNN would be a major embarrassment to the network. Remember George Stephanopoulos, right? They lost to Trump, right? Remember that they have to pay. CNN is being sued for defamation by Zachary Young, a security consultant living in Vienna who has worked for the CIA. Young was included in a report by CNN's chief security correspondent, Alex Marquardt, on how Afghans desperate to escape Taliban forces after the U.S. exit were charged exorbitant fees for helping getting out. Young, who advertises evacuation services on LinkedIn, has said he only took on clients with corporate sponsors. He extracted 22 employees from Bloomberg and Audible from Afghanistan. He said he never took money directly from Afghans, who CNN said in the piece were being exploited as they feared retribution from the Taliban for aiding American forces. So he worked directly for corporate sponsors, okay, clients with corporate sponsors. And he says he never took money directly from Afghans. And CNN said they were being exploited. Okay, let's see. Young was seeking $14,500 for getting people out of the country. At the time, his services were described in the CNN segment alongside interviews with Afghans who spoke about efforts by people to escape, but they had no connection to Young. His suit said his inclusion in the story, which used the term black market in an on-screen banner, implied that his activity was criminal, even though Marquardt's segment made no such charge. Black market was also used in the introduction of the report when it first ran on The Lead with Jack Tapper, other CNN programs, and the network's website and social media accounts. The jury in the civil trial heard in Bay County, Florida court must determine whether CNN journalists acted with actual malice, which is defined as the publication of false information with reckless regard for the truth. If CNN is found liable, Young can be awarded punitive damages. Young claims the story destroyed his reputation and ability to earn a living, driving his annual income from $350,000 to zero, and caused severe emotional and psychological distress. Vel Friedman, an attorney for Young, described CNN as peddling scandal for views and clicks, and asked the jurors to send a message that news organizations must be held accountable. CNN's defense team and witnesses from the network said the term black market was intended to reflect an unregulated market that is not necessarily criminal. They also said it described the chaotic conditions on the ground in Afghanistan. Young's attorneys noted the dictionary definition of black market says it's illegal. All right. Jonathan Turley has a long article about this, and I'm not going to go into the Turley analysis, which is very good. If you want to look it up, I'll give you the title. Turley, basically, it's on Turley's blog. It's your credibility with me is about none. CNN trial goes from bad to worse. And basically what's important about this is that you can't, the bar against the press is they have to show that it was, you can't just say something that was untrue. They have to say that I'm using my terms. Let me pull this back up. It has to say, let's see. Let me use that language. It's important. In order to hold them, let's see, the court must determine, the jury in the civil trial court must determine whether CNN journalists acted with actual malice, which is defined as the publication of false information with reckless regard to the truth of the truth. And I think that's important. Okay, it's a higher bar, but they can't just have these news outlets saying anything they want at any time, and you ruin people's lives. And if it's just flat out not true, and they're looking for viewers, which CNN is always looking for viewers, there's basically none left. I think it's important. You have to hold. You need a free press. You need an open press. You have to protect journalists to a higher standard than just the normal person walking around in terms of their freedom to investigate. And if it's not intentional and it's truly a mistake, that's different. But if it's just disregard for the truth and it hurts somebody, then I think that's common sense for justice. All right, so here we go. There's another connection with the press, and it's Matt Taibbi. Okay, he was the Twitter files guy. So let's go into that. Lots of stuff. Lots. Taibbi, White House directed suppression of speech on Facebook was worse than on Twitter. All right. So Matt Taibbi. All right, here we go. This is going to be a quick one. Journalist Matt Taibbi spoke to Brian Kilmeade about Mark Zuckerberg coming out against government censorship on social media and revealing the pressure he faced from the Biden administration to censor content on Facebook and Instagram. This is all at the same time as Biden's sitting up there doing his farewell, saying that he's worried about the removal of fact checkers. Yeah, this is what Taibbi said. On the whole, it is a net positive. Zuckerberg coming out and saying all this confirms a lot of what I reported and a lot of the information that came out from Jim Jordan's committee investigation into Facebook files. Even if it is not 100% sincere, it confirms some things and suggests that maybe these tech companies are afraid to continue doing this kind of stuff. It's an interesting line there. Even if it's not 100% sincere, it's kind of like what I've said. I mean, maybe not everything Mark Zuckerberg is saying is genuine, but maybe most of it is. And maybe it's a combination of a business move strategy. Maybe it is a come to Jesus moment about a lot of this, and maybe a lot of it is self preservation and looking at the future and seeing what's coming. But either way, it's good, and I don't think we can say it's all not genuine. I really do think Zuckerberg has had a come to Jesus moment, and even if it's not 100% sincere, as DB is saying, it's still good. It confirms that these reporters were accurate, that none of it, what we were witnessing, we weren't delusional. People felt this. People were censored. People were canceled. Zuckerberg already broke the ice on this in August. This is Taibbi continuing, when he issued a letter talking about how the White House had pressured Facebook to censor and the FBI had nudged the company to believe the Hunter Biden laptop story was disinformation. That whole story, that was one of the stories that Miranda Devine was involved in. So this is all connected. His use of the word censor in that letter in August kind of broke the ice on the mainstream coverage of this topic. No one had really used that word before. So whatever the motivation is, whatever Zuckerberg's motivation, that's what he's saying, I think is a net plus for the effort to increase free speech on these platforms. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to leave that. But just another confirmation of things are changing. Trump's election is monumental, a major realignment. We talked about yesterday, NPR is going the opposite direction. They're promoting somebody who's on the censorship side, on the wrong side of history on this issue. So some publication is going to continue that way. You're going to have your Joy Reads, right? And the other guy, what's his who was that guy on MSNBC? I'm drawing a blank right now. I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, let's move. Right? Let's see. This back to X. X has a lot of good. Oh, this is good.